Hello guys, myself Anurag Bharadwaj and I welcome you all at the platform of USTM IES Academy. Guys, I am the mentor of UPSC PSIR optional examination here as well as the current affairs. So in today's class of newspaper session, I am going to discuss the Indian Express of 10th of April 2026 with you guys. And in this paper, we shall cover some certain important I would say geopolitical as well as the regional political issues of India. So first of all, let's start with the recent elections that conducted yesterday only. As we all know that in 2026, 4 states and UTs are there in the India which are undergoing the elections, and out of these 4 states and UTs, 3 states and UTs have conducted the election yesterday, that is of 9th of April. Yesterday, elections were happened there in the Assam, as well as in the Kerala, as well as Puducherry, UT. And you will see, and I personally believe that you will surprise that there is a record-breaking data that has come up here regarding the total number of voters who participated in the election. Let's focus upon this. This is the record turnout in the Assam, which is 85 percentile of the total number of valid voters, and apart from that in the Puducherry, a very small UT of the India, the record is 90% people, 90% voters, they have participated there in the election. And Kerala is not so, I would say, like lagging behind. Kerala sees 78 percentile of the voters who participated in the election. That shows and affirms the direct democracy, the part of, like I would say, one of the tool of Indian constitution where the Indian people have right to vote, have like participate there in the political framing, politics making, decision making, and to choose their representative. And I would say one more thing, let's discuss analytically this part. Last time when the election happened here in these 3 states and UTs in 2021, when we compare the data with the 2026 election, you will see that there is a slightly change in the number. Let's say for example, in case of Assam, last time election in 2021, that time 82.4 percentile voters, they participated in the election, but this time this number has increased to 85 percentile. Same goes with that Kerala. Last time it was like 76 percentile only, and here it comes up with 78.03 percentile, which shows a kind of like, I would say, awareness which is going on, which is spreading among all the people. Along with that, in the Puducherry too, you will surprise that earlier it was only 83 percentile, and slightly 7 percentile has been increased here, and the total number is approx slightly, I would say, 7 percentile has been increased. And currently, the total number is approx 89.83 percentile, which is approx, I would say, 90%. That's a very good result, I would say. And one more thing here, just to add on, from the point of view of UPSC examination too, basically, when we compare all these state elections data with the general election of Lok Sabha that was conducted 2 years back there in 2024, that time the people participated, or I would say like the participants number was approx between 65 to 66 percentile, having 65.8 percentile the women participation, while 65.6 percentile the participation of men. So whenever we have the question there in the GS paper 2 regarding the women's participation in the politics or the direct democracy or just to choose the representative, or what shall be the fate of the Indian politics in terms of like feministic approach, we can mention all these data that here women are participating with a, I would say, with a good gesture just to enhance their role in the politics. And that's why you will see last time general election mein, the data of women who participated was 65.8 percentile, slightly, I would say, like little higher than the total number of participants of male category. And that shows, I would say again, that shows a very keen interest of the women there in the politics too. And this number, let's say 85 percentile or 78 percentile or 90 percentile, this number shows 50-50 percentile ratio of the men and women in all the categories in all the states and UTs. And just to add on one more thing here, the only state which is waiting for the election out of 4 is West Bengal, and we all are waiting for the same, as there shall be a kind of like twist and turns, multiple twist and turns there in the election, because one side at the, like I would say, like at the North Pole, there is a lady who is standing and continuously fighting against all the MPs, all the leaders of the India, and the name of the lady, I think you all knows very well, is Mamata Banerjee. And the second one, from BJP side, where all the people, all the leaders are coming here continuously just for rally, just for, I would say, like star campaigners, just to make the people please, just to make the people like, confident in terms of BJP. So that election, अपने आप में, that election shall be very important for all of you guys, for all those aspirants who are just going to write your mains examination of 2026. So let's continue the session again. Basically, apart from this, there is another news which is quite important as well. I would say little bit older too, but I am going to cover this from the point of view of like editorial. This is one of the very important editorial that has been covered there by the Indian Express this time in this paper. And this is something, yeah. After ceasefire restraint, Israel offers talk with Lebanon. And this is one of the, I would say, it's a long journey which is going on from last 2-3 months, where Israel, Iran, USA, and all these counterparts, all those countries, stakeholders, they are fighting there in the Arabian territory, Arabian Peninsula, which is quite important for all of you, which is quite, I would say, like important especially for the aspirants who are preparing for UPSC. So let's continue this one also. Recently, what's a development in this whole series? Recently, the 2-week ceasefire has been decided by both the parties. Here the USA, Iran as well as Israel, they have conducted the ceasefire there. There shall not be any continuous fight between these two parties there for the 2 weeks. And this is the only period which is quite important from the point of view of negotiation, from the point of view of those third parties who are like, working, who are like taking keen interest there in the geopolitics of the Arabian Peninsula. I would say one more thing here. We will try to discuss the role of India here, what India should do, what India, I would say, like should play its role there in the geopolitics of the Arabian Peninsula territory. So first of all, let me explain the little bit background of this, especially for those who are the newcomers or the new aspirants who don't know the overall story of this. So basically, I would say that the bitter relationship, the beginning of bitter relationship between the Iran as well as USA that started back in 1980s. During the 1980s, their relationship had become little bit bitter, and from that part you will see from 1995 is the year where it happened that direct diplomatic relation between the USA and Iran, they were completely like banned, and the reason was lots of happenings, lots of I would say mishappenings were there earlier there in the relationship. Because of that, diplomatic relations दोनों के खत्म हो जाएंगे. And what happened next? From 1995 onwards, Pakistan was the country there in the territory that was maintaining friendly relations of the Iran along with the USA. And from the side of USA, there was a Switzerland who was maintaining relation with the Iran from the side of it. So basically, I would say both the countries, they have assigned, they have like, I would say like diplomatically, they have assigned their persons, they have assigned their countries just to maintain the relation on the behalf of Iran and USA respectively. For Iran, it was Pakistan who was maintaining relation, and for USA, it was Switzerland who was maintaining relation with the Iran. But all of a sudden things have been changed, and because of that, I would say like before that, there is a very keen and very important, I would say, one of the incident that happened there in the 2015. What happened there? As all you guys must have aware about the two-party rule of, political party rule there in the USA. There are two political party. One is called Democratic and another one is called Republican. And Democratic by nature is considered as quite liberal political party, while in case of like Republican political party, it's quite radical. Radical in terms of like socio-economic conditions must be maintained by that particular political party. If there is any change, if there is something happening against that socio-economic condition, that political party must, I would say, like, retaliate. So that happened there before 2015 and after that too. And let me tell you this whole story. Actually, during the 2015 time, like I would say like till 2017, there was a rule of Democratic Party in the USA. And that time, Barack Obama, one of the, I would say, most liberal, one of the most sharp intellect person, was the president of USA. And during that time, Barack Obama, along with the Democratic Party, they initiated just to maintain the peace with the Iran. And what's the reason behind it, all these things? Let me cover this in the background. Basically, Iran is a country which is quite rich in terms of uranium enrichment. And it is nothing but the enrichment of the uranium just to utilize that for the, I would say, nuclear weapons development. And Iran is one of the country which is quite confident because of the ample amount of availability of resources. So Iran has multiple types of technologies to enrich the uranium and to convert that into nuclear bomb grade uranium. And that is one of the bone of contention that was started even after 1968 too, because Iran along with India and Pakistan was country that did not sign that non-proliferation treaty. So bitter relationship started, but till 80s it was quite, I would say, balanced one. After 80, bittership, I would say, increased, and ultimately 1995 में क्या हुआ? Completely diplomatic जो relations थे, though they got restricted. Now let's continue this. So when Barack Obama came into the power, Barack Obama became the president of the Democratic Party. So he initiated, along with the P5 permanent five countries of the UNSC, and they signed a deal with the Iran called JCPOA. JCPOA is nothing but the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. What does that mean? They asked Iran just to limit their production of nuclear weapons or production of nuclear weapon grade uranium. They asked Iran not to produce too much uranium so that it could utilize that there for the weapon purposes. And in I would say in terms of that, USA allowed the USA basically it opened the sanctions that were imposed earlier in the 1995. USA, all the sanctions that were imposed earlier by the USA different presidents there on the Iran were lifted off. So it means, I would say in a very general way, layman term, now in 2015 when this JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, was signed, it allowed the Iran to maintain the export and import there in the world. And along with that, it allowed USA also and affirmed the USA that Iran did not use any kind of nuclear weapon grade uranium. And it means it will limit the development and the production of uranium. That's it. That's a whole part of the deal. Purposely, USA included one more country here called Germany. And what was the role of the Germany? As Germany was the representative of the whole European Union, so actually in true senses there were total, I would say, 7 countries involved in that JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. कौन था? One is USA, second one is China, third one is Russia, then UK, and then France, and ultimately Germany from that side. And Iran was the second part that was signing, that was maintaining peace with these nations. Signed, happened, everything was succeeded properly, completely. Then here comes the election of USA in 2017, and all of a sudden Republican Party got the fame and Donald Trump became the president. And recently, as I told you, Republican Party has there in mind American natives first policy, and just to make it sure, America or USA, I would say Donald Trump has started taking very worst decisions. First, he has taken decision like he lifted off all the deals related issues, and he told that I am backing off from this JCPOA, as he stated that this deal is very biased one, which allows like Iran to maintain the uranium or the ballistic missile based on nuclear weapons. And when this thing happened, and Donald Trump was not so I would say pleased with this deal, so ultimately it dissatisfied Iran also. Then what happened? At the eve of 2020th New Year, at the eve of that, basically one of the right hand commander, I would say one of the right hand of Ali Khamenei, Qasim Soleimani, he was assassinated by USA. And this is the beginning of the actual war that started there in the 2020 and which is going on till 2026. Although all these years were passed in a kind of like peace state, but still there was a sense of like insecurity in the mindset of Iran also. And because of that, for these 6 years, Iran was preparing at a very basic and the grassroots level just to retaliate USA or to retaliate the Israel in terms of in case of any kind of attack, in case of any kind of like aggression created by USA or Israel. And this is the picture what all we are seeing right now after the death, after the assassination, I would say, of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His son Mustafa Ali Khamenei, soon he became the, I would say, theocratic head of the Iran, and they have created a list of all these people. It's not like they've ended this thing here only. They have created a list of all these people. Let's say if Mustafa Ali Khamenei would die ever there in the assassination made by the USA, who would be the next head? They have created all the list of that. That kind of level of planning was maintained by Iran from 2020 to 2026. And that is why Iran is standing very firmly, very strongly and fighting at the two ends, two nodes. One is Israel and another one is USA. And this is the only reason that shows that Iran has attracted all the countries, including Russia, including China, because Iran has proven itself as one of the most powerful, I would say, country that is retaliating at a very, 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 I would say, at a very balanced way, the retaliating USA and its army. So let's come to the point. Here comes what's the role of India that India should play. Let me tell you one more thing here. During this 1920s only, USA purposely included India and made a group, official group called I2U2, which stands as Israel, India, UAE and USA. I'm repeating this one. Israel, India, UAE and USA, these are the four countries. They have created a group called I2U2, and USA purposely included India there in this group just to negotiate in the geopolitics of Arabian Peninsula, where the Palestinian versus Israel war, which is going on, where the Iran is taking keen interest in that. USA stated that India should intervene in this geopolitics. India should negotiate in this geopolitics, as India is one of the largest democracy of the world. So the people of Palestine or the people of Israel would try to hear the sentiments or would try to hear the negotiation of India. But what happened? After the development of this group, after the, I would say, constitution of this group was almost, I would say, like, inactive. It has not played any important role. It has not played any, I would say, negotiable role just to maintain the peace or the balance there in the territory. And as a result of which, we can say that the Lebanon attack on Hezbollah by the Israel, or the Lebanon attack on the Israel, or I would say the attack on Iran, attack on the Palestinian people, all these things are going on. Ultimately, it shows that that group I2U2 got failed. So in the last, we would say, as a crux, as a core of this article, we can say that there is a lacuna, there is a space, there is a potential as well as scope for the India just to participate in the geopolitics, which will ensure the, I would say, candidature of India to be the permanent member of UNSC. I would say one more thing here. Basically, earlier UPSC has asked a question. I think there in 2015-16 somewhere, UPSC has asked a question in GS paper 2, why India should not get the permanent membership of UNSC. It means it has stated there in the question, what are the disqualities of the India, what are the ineligibilities of the India for which we would say that India should not get the permanent membership of UNSC. And this is one of the example for the same, as India got the opportunity to intervene, to participate in the geopolitics of the Arabian Peninsula, but we remained silent as we stated that we are the non-aligned movement part country. We will not intervene in the internal affairs of the politics. But on the other hand, the UNSC demanded that any country who is a permanent member, they have to ensure, they have to, I would say, like, present their own personal interest there in the geopolitics. That shall be one of the criteria to choose a country as a permanent member. So as a core, in a nutshell, I would say India should participate just for the, I would say, for the sake of economic betterment of the India, just for the sake of the political betterment of the India, as well as one of the largest democracy. It is required for the India to participate. So in the next session, again, I would discuss more news, more things here in this series. I hope you would like my video. Please do subscribe my channel, like and share. Thank you so much. Namaskar, Dhanyavad, Adab. How's that? कर दिया.
Very good. Jelly good.
कैसा था? मस्त था? चलो देखते हैं अभी बैठ के। इसकी आवाज आएगी अरशाद है, ये बंद नहीं किया था। कैसा था सर? आपने देखा?